Have you ever spent hours tracking down the perfect record for your ancestor, only to end up spending a significant amount of time trying to build a proper citation for that record in WikiTree? It's not that these citations are particularly complicated, they're just time-consuming, and it feels like busy work, copying data back and forth between tabs and adding it to the WikiTree profile. Well, take a breath, because today we're looking at a little tool that will help you to search for new sources, and it will even help you to add the source text properly formatted into WikiTree biographies in a matter of seconds. Sound interesting? Well, welcome to FamilyTree 123, and today we're exploring the remarkable WikiTree Sourcer browser extension. Hi, my name is Jonathan, and I can't wait to show you this powerful tool available for all WikiTree users. It's free, it's easy to use, and it is honestly the closest you can get to efficient and frictionless research. But instead of just talking about it, why don't I show you how great this software is? So here I am in the WikiTree profile for Donald Macquarie. To search for additional sources for Donald, instead of navigating to another genealogical software application and typing all of his details into the search screen, here's the WikiTree Sourcer and what it can do. First, I'll click this little icon for a drop-down menu, and then let's say we want to use FamilySearch today. So I'll select it from the menu, and boom! The WikiTree Sourcer software opened FamilySearch in a search window. It automatically added Donald Macquarie's name, birth, and death dates, and other search criteria from the WikiTree profile, and it's already run the search. This new tab shows the results of that search. Literally 2 clicks, and FamilySearch results are here ready for exploring. But it gets even better. When I look at the list, I notice that this first source is new. It's a late birth registration for Donald's daughter, Isabel. So I'll click the link to open it in FamilySearch, and now with this source page open, I can select the WikiTree Sourcer again, and I'm going to ask it to build a narrative citation. And right away, I see this message saying it's copied to the clipboard. So now I just switch back to the other tab with WikiTree, and in edit mode, I place my cursor where I want the text to go and paste it, and boom, there it is. The WikiTree Sourcer has generated a simple sentence about the source, along with the properly formatted WikiTree source citation with reference tags and everything. What an incredible time saver! This back and forth of searching and citing sources simplified and automated. This is awesome. So let me show you how to get you up and running on your computer too. So let's start with installation. Browser extensions, sometimes also known as plugins, are nice and easy to install. The WikiTree Sourcer supports most modern web browsers, including Firefox, Safari, and Chrome, including specialized versions of that are based on Chrome, such as Brave or Vivaldi. This browser plugin is free, and except there's one caveat. Unfortunately for Mac users, the Safari store requires a registration fee to list the extension on their website, so there's a small fee to cover that cost. Okay, without that out of the way, let's hop over to the computer. We're going to get started with Chrome. In the top corner, click the 3 dots just to the right of your Google ID, scroll down to Extensions, then visit Chrome Web Store. Don't be put off by the name store. The Sourcer extension is free. Now, once you're at the web store, you can search, just type in WikiTree Sourcer, and you'll see it right there on the list. Select it from the list, and it will show you the detailed information about this particular browser extension. Now, we can just go up to the top right and select Add to Chrome, and confirm your choice to add the extension. And now we can see that it has been added. Now to view the new extension, click on this puzzle piece. This is where all of your browser extensions can be accessed. And pro tip, you can just click that pin, and that will always show the sourcer in your browser, so you don't have to go looking for it. Now let's select the WikiTree Sourcer, And we can see that it's working, but there's nothing to see because it's pulling data from genealogy websites, but right now we're not on a genealogy website. So this message is just saying, there's nothing here for me to interact with. Okay, so that's the basic installation process. Let's skip through a few other browsers. If you're using Firefox, just click the dots, open the web store, search, click install, Bob's your uncle. If you are using Safari, you can go up to the menu for extensions, search, and yeah, there's the tax for being a Mac user. Microsoft Edge does not appear to be supported, but Edge isn't a great browser anyway, so this is a good opportunity for you to download Firefox or Chrome for free and get a better browser experience. Once the extension's installed, there's one more step. Now, we are all concerned about security today, and rightfully so. And because of this, every browser will need to confirm that you want to give permission to the WikiTree Sourcer before you're able to read or write data on the web pages that you're visiting. So here's how you do this. Open a browser tab and navigate to WikiTree. Click on the WikiTree Sourcer, and it will tell you that it requires additional permissions for this website. Conveniently, they provide you with a button, Request the Permissions. But here's the warning message. Just to make you sure that you realize what you're doing, you are giving this extension permission to make changes to data on your WikiTree profile. Now, this may sound a little bit scary, but the Sourcer doesn't make any changes without your explicit instructions. You're not giving up control. You're simply allowing it to expedite the tasks that you are asking it to do for you. So you can feel free to go ahead and select Allow. Or if you don't want to, that's up to you. But don't be surprised when you get the same permission request when you visit other web pages for the first time. Now notice the Sourcer icon is turned green. That means it's active, it's ready to go, and you are on a genealogy website where it can read information. Now there are a ton of settings that you can adjust in this fantastic little extension, but let's just get right to the good stuff. How does it help you to research your family tree and help you find sources? In the introduction, I showed you how to do a basic search using FamilySearch. This is the most basic operation for the WikiTree Sourcer extension, searching for records. We always start on a WikiTree profile page. In this case, I'm starting on the profile page for Donald Macquarie. I click the icon for the Sourcer app and select FamilySearch. It automatically opens FamilySearch, adds Donald Macquarie's information in the search page, and initiates the search. It performs all of these steps automatically. And now all I need to do is look at the search results to see if any of these items are relevant for Donald Macquarie. Now in this video, I'm only using examples from FamilySearch, but if you click the Sourcer icon, you will see there's a long list of other genealogy websites that are searchable using this exact same process. But a couple quick notes. First of all, I logged into FamilySearch before I did the search. That just makes the process go more smoothly. And the same is true for other websites. Naturally, if a website is a paid service, you'll need to log in with a paid account in order to access those search results. I'm sticking with FamilySearch in this example because, well, it's free. And you'll note that many of the other websites are also free, but not all of them. So you just have to learn as you go along. So that's the basic search capability, but the WikiTree Sourcer has a lot more going on under the hood. Let me just show you. For example, let's take a look at the profile for Mary Tudhope Cook Blackstone. I'm going to launch the search for Mary just as I did with Donald, but hold on a minute. Look at the search parameters in FamilySearch. The name at the top is Mary Tudhope, and her last name is Cook. That's her maiden name. But in the second search box, her last name is the alternate last name, Blackstone, which is her married name. Now, I didn't ask Sourcer to do this. It's smart enough to identify from WikiTree that Mary is married, and for the searches following her marriage date, she will need to search the records with her married name. What a huge time saver this is. And when we look through the results in the list, we can see that these are spot on. By now, you should be hooked on the usefulness of this little piece of software, but honestly, we're just getting started. Let me show you one more search option. We'll go back to Mary's WikiTree profile. When I select the WikiTree Sourcer and scroll down to FamilySearch, notice over here on the right-hand side, there's a little arrow. If you click this arrow, it opens a specific search option. So let's look at these. First, we can search by collection. Now, this really blows my mind. The software automatically identifies the country where Mary Blackstone is living. In this case, it's Canada. And it filters this list of collections based on what's available at FamilySearch and also based on the country in which this person lives. Now, from this list, I will say it's not perfect, because Mary lived her whole life in the province of Ontario, and she did not ever live in Nova Scotia or Manitoba. But hey, these Canadian census records are going to be tailored to her specific details, and that's fantastic. So let's go back to the specific search options in FamilySearch, and this time we will look at the family tree option. This searches for Mary Blackstone's profile in FamilySearch's family tree. And it comes up with the right profile. And again, this is a huge time saver. But just think about this. In the future, when you're in WikiTree and you want to jump over to the same profile in FamilySearch, you can just use the Sourcer. Just click on FamilySearch and select the family tree option. And in most cases, it will take you right to the profile you're looking for. No more searching through the family tree, manually navigating to your relative's profile. You've just saved yourself oodles of time. And you're welcome. Okay, so that's how the WikiTree Sourcer works for searching. Now on to the next point, adding source citations. And this is where we can realize massive efficiencies and save ourselves a significant amount of time. Again, let's look back at the first example, the birth registration for Donald Macquarie's daughter, Isabel, with the inline citation and narrative. Once you've found a source and in this example, we found it in FamilySearch, you can have the WikiTree Sourcer do the heavy lifting for the source citation. In that first example, we selected Build Narrative with Citation. And here's what it looks like in the text edit page in Donald's profile. First, there's the narrative part. And really, this is just a brief sentence about the information found in the record. But it's generated by the Sourcer application. And in this case, it says Donald's daughter, Isabel Evans Macquarie, was born on the 14th of June, 1897 in Bridgetown, Annapolis, Nova Scotia, Canada. This is immediately followed by the reference itself. Now, for the benefit of anyone who is not as familiar with WikiTree source formatting, this is an inline citation. It's inserted here right next to the narrative information because it's related to that information. So we have the two reference tags at the beginning, at the end, and then all of the information in the middle is the citation details. And so once you have saved the profile, we can look at the inline citation, and it looks like this. First, there's the narrative sentence, and then we have this footnote at the end of that sentence. And when you click it, it takes you to the references at the end of this profile. Now it shows you all the source information that was contained within those reference tags in this footnote at the bottom. Now, inline citations are best for a source citation that's very specific about one thing in the biography. In this example, it's a birth record, and so it belongs with this sentence about Isabel's birth. But there are other citation options also available with the WikiTree Sourcer. And the first is basically the same that we've just done, except it doesn't include the narrative text. So, maybe you've already written in your profile, Isabel was born on this particular date, and so you just really want to add the reference to the end of that. So in this case, we would just identify where this sentence is located in the profile. We'll put our cursor next to that. Then we'll use the WikiTree Sourcer to build an inline citation. And once that's copied into the clipboard, we can just paste it here at the end of this narrative sentence. And it'll be just the same. It'll show as a footnote, and it will have the information down at the bottom of the sources in the profile once you've saved it. But there's another option available, and this one is called source citation. So it's not an inline citation, but rather a source citation. Generally speaking, a source citation is one that connects to multiple points in the biography. It doesn't just belong with one single sentence. So it could be like a census record or maybe a family history book with lots of information about different people. So I'm starting from Donald Macquarie's profile again. From the sources, I've selected the Canada Census 1871, and I'm going to navigate all the way down to the web page in FamilySearch. Now I can select the WikiTree Sourcer and select Source Citation. And again, we see that it copies the data to the clipboard. So now we go back to Donald's WikiTree page, click on Edit, scroll down to the Sources heading, make a little space for it, put the cursor there, and then paste it in. Now, if we just scroll down and hit Preview, we can scroll down and see what the citations will look like. First, we have the inline citations, which are like footnotes. Second, the source citations. Now, here's a pro-level feature that totally blew me away. I have just demonstrated how to build a citation for a specific record in FamilySearch, but look what happens when you create a source citation from the FamilySearch profile page. Here we are on Mary Ted Hope Cook's profile in FamilySearch. Notice we are on the details page with no specific sources identified. Now, let's select the WikiTree Sourcer, scroll down to Source Citations, and look at this. Look at this. It's building 9 citations. If we look at Mary's profile, we can see right here it says there are 9 sources attached. So the Sourcer has actually navigated to all of these sources without us even needing to open the specific source documents individually. Once these have all been copied to the clipboard, we can navigate back to Mary's WikiTree profile, go down to the Sources section at the end of the profile, and paste them in. And there they are. Now, if you want to see what they look like, you can scroll down, describe your changes. In this case, we added sources, and then click Save. And now when we look at the saved profile, we go down to the bottom of Mary's profile, we can see that there are 2 inline citations that we had before, followed by these 9 source citations that we've just added. Now, if you choose to copy and paste multiple source citations like this, please remember what Uncle Ben said to Peter Parker. With great power comes great responsibility. This is a powerful tool. It's able to grab all of these sources in one step. But don't just dump them into your WikiTree sources and call it a day. You need to make sure that you add any relevant data you found in these sources to the profile. If there's a marriage record, for example, you need to ensure the person's profile mentions the marriage and all of the specifics, date, place, people, and so on. In many cases, it will be far better to build individual citations with narrative so that they can be added to the biography, rather than risk dumping in a bunch of citations that aren't specifically mentioned in the biography text. Genealogy technology doesn't have to break the bank, and it doesn't have to be complicated. Tools like WikiTree Sourcer are designed to clear away the formatting headaches, the repetitive typing, so that you can focus on the intrigue of searching and finding ancestors and the joy of narrating their stories. And remember, when it comes to the Wiki Sourcer, this video is really just the tip of the iceberg. The Sourcer browser extension has quite a few more powerful features up its sleeve. If there's any interest, I may do a follow-up video on how to use WikiTree Sourcer for generating new WikiTree profiles and how to generate family data tables from census records. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in either of these topics. But if this guide has helped you clear up your search and citation workflow today, then go ahead and click the thumbs up and subscribe to FamilyTree123 for more budget-friendly, practical family tree tech tutorials. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.